Alright, so here we are on that last page of our Unit 4 Topic A note packet, where it says at the top, may I suggest a visual? So we've got two examples here that would have been where we needed two proportions or two equations, but now we're going to try using a visual to help us out here. So if you look at, give me a second, let me get this cursor out of the way here. Alright. So, number 1 says, initially there were 4,800 plants for sale at Walker Farm. Of those, 30% were annuals and the rest were perennials. By noon on Saturday, 40% of the annuals had sold and 768 of the perennials had sold. How many plants were unsold? So we've got a lot going on. So we know at the start there were 4,800 plants for sale. Of those original, 30% were annuals and the rest were perennials. So we're going to start with that. We're going to draw a little tape diagram here. Alright, where 30% were annuals, and then the rest, which would be 70%, were perennials. Okay, and we know that all of this equals 4,800. It says by noon on Saturday, 40% of the annuals had sold and 768 of the perennials had sold. How many plants were unsold? So first we need to figure out what's going to go inside of these two boxes for our 30% and 70%. So first, let's do our 30%. So we're looking for 30% of 4,800. So if we used our equation, we would have 0.3 times our whole, which is 4,800, and that gets us our part, which would be 1,440. So that goes on the inside here. And then if we were to find our other one, we would do 4,800 minus 1,440, and this would be 3,360, and that would go for our perennials. Alright, so now that we know our original amounts, we can go on to that second part of the problem. So it says by noon on Saturday, 40% of the annuals had sold. So I'm going to take this annuals box, I'm going to draw a little arrow. Now we're going to move down here, we're going to make another tape diagram. They told us that 40% had sold, so that's our first box, 40% sold. And this would be 60% unsold. And we know that our total from up above there is 1,440. So we can do the equation for both of these. So if we do 0.4 times 1,440, this would equal 576. So 576 plants were sold. And then if we do the other one, 0.6 times 1,440, you would get 864, and 864 plants were unsold. If you do add those up, you do get 1,440, which is a good way to make sure you didn't make any computation errors. Alright, so from there, those are the annuals. Now we have to do the perennials. So the perennials, I'm going to take an arrow and go over here. And again, we're going to have sold and unsold. Alright, and they told us that 768 of the perennials had sold. So on our sold side over here, you'd have 768. We know the total is 3,360. So that means to find our number unsold, we would take 3,360, subtract 768, and that would give us 2,592. Alright, but we're not done. They asked us how many plants were unsold. So that means now we need to go back and we need to add up our unsold. So we have 864 plus 2,592. And if you add those up, you get 3,456 total unsold. And that is the answer to our question. Okay, so again, that visual just helps us separate all of the information that they gave us. Some of you might need to use it. Some of you might be okay just using the algorithms. That's okay though, but we are going to practice using them. So we've got one more here. Number 2 says Kira had 30 ounces of a new fruit juice drink. 70% of her drink was orange juice. The rest was carrot juice. After adding more orange juice, the percentage of carrot juice decreased to 20%. How many ounces of orange juice had Kira added to the mixture? So we're going to start with that original. First we need to underline. We've got 30 ounces. 70 was orange juice originally. And the rest was carrot juice. And we've got this decreased to 20%. So if we start here with our original drawing, we are talking about juices here. So we know it was 70% orange. And the rest was carrot, so that'd be 30% carrot. And the total here was 30 ounces. So we need to work on the insides here first. So first we would take 0.70 times our whole to give us our part, which would be 21. So 21 would go here. If you did 0.30 first, you could times 30. You would get 9. And that goes there. 21 plus 9 does equal 30. So we're good to go. Right here, we have to go back and look at this key word. They said decrease to 20%. So that's kind of our clue that we might need to use our percent increase decrease equation, which remember was change over the original equals the decrease. Alright, so just keep that there in case we need it. Alright, now they told us after adding more orange juice, the percentage of carrot juice decreased to 20%. So now in our new tape diagram, that means we have 20% carrot juice and now 80% orange. And then going from here, if you look back, they only added more orange juice, which means that we still have 9 ounces of carrot juice. That doesn't change because they only added orange juice. So now we have to figure out how much orange juice that is. So to find our total though, we're going to have to use what we know. So that means we're going to have to take our 20%, so 0.2 times, we don't know the whole, so that's our x, equals our part of 9. So if we divide by 0.2 on both sides, you get that x equals 45. So that's our whole. Now, of course, we can just subtract 45 minus 9 to give us 36 for orange juice, and that's 36 ounces. But now they asked how many ounces of orange juice had Kira added. So they're not just asking how much is there, they want to know what the difference was. So we're going to take our 36, subtract our 21, and we would get 15. So our answer would be 15 ounces were added. Okay, so again, some of you might like this, some of you might prefer sticking to just the algorithms. But if you have any questions, just bring those to class, and then we'll do some more practice using the visuals tomorrow.